You are now joining the meeting.
Hello, this is Derek. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just making sure. I'm going to turn it over to Coach. They just finished up practice here a little bit ago, and I'll let him kind of take you through how they've used the time since the Missouri game and take your questions regarding Maryland.
Obviously, we had 22 and 23 off, and then we practiced Christmas Eve, Christmas, as well as today. Practiced really well. Guys came back, I think, excited, obviously, to begin league play tomorrow night. And, our first step was kind of taking a look at the Missouri game and the film and what we could learn from it. Felt like we did, made some big plays in the game, had some guys really show some great mental and physical toughness throughout the course of the game. When we didn't necessarily play our best, I thought we made more mistakes in that one than we did in the game in Chicago or the previous week, but I thought we really exhibited a lot of toughness, and especially through Black's foul trouble, Abrams' foul trouble. I thought our bench was really, really good. The guys that came off were really ready to roll and really affected the game in a positive way, every single one of them. And so I thought that was good for us. Obviously we head into tomorrow night's game. Great challenge starts with their guard play. I think Cowan and Trimble really put a lot of pressure on you in transition. They put pressure on your half-court defense, obviously attacking the paint. They've got three-point shooting around them. And then obviously great size and rebounding up front. And then obviously a great home court. So, our guys are looking forward to it. I think everything we've been through to this point with the non-conference schedule and the quality of the teams we played, the different styles that we played, have certainly, got us prepared for league play. We just got to continue to take it one day at a time, keep getting better every day, and take it one game at a time and not get too high or too low and stay even keel throughout the 18-game gauntlet. Questions?
Hey, John. This is Mark. With Cowan in there now, are they using Melo differently?
They play basically 2 point guards together. That's what those two guys are, and they both can make plays in transition. They both, are great in pick and rolls. They both put a lot of pressure on your defense. They have the ability to get to the free throw line and make plays for themselves and for others. I think maybe the one thing that has benefited Trimble is that Cowan makes him better, and so that allows him to maybe get a few more shots where he gets spoon-fed and he's not strictly the spoon-feeder. So I think, those two together, really are kind of a two-headed, point guard monster.
John, this is Lauren. Would you speak to the schedule again and the fact you're ranked number 2 in the Big Ten in strength of schedule, and how this schedule has prepared you, in your view, for the Big Ten schedule?
Well, we put it together. Obviously, you hope that our goal was certainly for it to be up near the top of the Big Ten Conference when we entered league play. And sometimes, you can plan and things work out accordingly, and you're able to put yourself in position like we did to play a really strong schedule with different styles and against really good teams and good guard play. We had team BYU had a great front court player. We just played against zone, full court pressure, man. We saw about everything. So I think that's really helped prepare us. You do the best you can to try to estimate in the off season where you think teams might fall within their league, or when they're an older team, who they got coming back, and you try to project how good they're going to be to the best of your ability. And sometimes it falls your way with that. Sometimes you might hit a team that has an injury or something that maybe wasn't in the plans when you originally scheduled the game. But certainly in this case, it worked out really, really well. We're really happy that we wanted our strength of schedule to be very difficult, and obviously it was, and it challenged us. And our hope is that it's prepared us obviously for league play that starts tomorrow night.
Well, then, style-wise, does Maryland represent several of the different teams that you played in terms of how they play defensively and offensively?
Well, I think offensively, obviously, they've got the two-headed monster with 2 point guards and then shooters around them and then great size. I don't know if they're like anyone we've played identically in terms of their style of play and their personnel, but we've played against, whether it's Dennis Smith at NC State or the nation's leading scorer from Central Michigan or, the preseason player of the year point guard from Winthrop that got 38. We've played against really good players, point guards. We played against really good front court players, really good wings, Bacon, Isaac. I mean, we played against some really good players and really good teams. So you just hope that collectively prepares you for tomorrow night, and not just tomorrow night, but, obviously taking it one game at a time with the schedule and league play. We're hopeful, and I do think it's made us a better team going through it. But obviously, you think about the two guards and what they do for their team. We've certainly been fortunate that we've played against some really, really good guards. What's unique about them is they have two of them that can not only score the ball, put pressure on you, but they can also make other guys better. They're great passers. So, obviously it's going to be a challenge when you got two of them out there.
John, this is Shannon. Excuse me. You talked after the Missouri game and the players too, just about their ability to not be rattled and going through that 3-game losing streak. Could you just talk about the mentality of this team, maybe how it's strengthened over the years and where they're at now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think part of it is certainly that week, obviously that we went through. It wasn't fun, but I thought it taught this team from a basketball standpoint a lot and tested us mentally and physically. But to be honest, it's more than just that week, Shannon. I mean, it's everything that these guys have been through on the court. It's everything they've been through off the court. It's, what they've seen, campus. It's what they've, it's just everything that they've been through at this point. They've seen highs, they've seen lows, they've seen, people applaud them. They've received their fair share of criticism. They've kind of handled all that over the time that they've been here. So much of it's been thrown at them at very large ends of the spectrum. So I think their ability to have those experiences allows them to rely on those and bounce back and be able to stay somewhere in the middle and not get too high or too low. Obviously the guys used the phrase the other night about not getting rattled and just kind of staying the course. And I thought they did that the other day in the game when we didn't play particularly great, but just kind of found a way. And they've really done that throughout the season.
Hey, John, this is Kendrick. Can you tell me, since the Big Ten is about to start, have you kind of settled in on your rotation, or are you still kind of searching for how deep you're going to go with your roster?
Well, we've settled in on it a lot more, but obviously we are a strength in numbers team. It is what it is. There's going to be certain nights where I've used the analogy before about relief pitchers. You use, lefties in certain situations, righties in certain situations. Some guys are, closers. Some guys are middle inning relievers. You've got to, and we've got some of that. And we've had some guys that have played, so they've gained some experience playing their roles. So they all have to be ready. Night in, night out, we're going to play, Lord willing, with the health, and he's really, we're so grateful for that at this point because we've been through a lot with that as well. We're going to play 9+. I mean, that's just who we are right now. That's who our team is, and everybody has to be ready to go. And thank goodness they have been, because the last 2 games, I thought the strength of our team really has been the guys that came off the bench and performed at a very high level per minute played. And had they not been ready, I don't know if we'd have won either game. So it's going to take everybody. We understand that's who we are, and I think the guys are getting more and more comfortable with that, buying into that, and being ready to go.
Hey, John, this is Scott. I know you mentioned after the Missouri game, you talked about turnovers and they still being something that you'd like to see curtailed a little bit. Is there one thing in particular that's leading to more this season?
No, I don't think so, Scott. There's not necessarily, obviously decision-making probably be the one thing. You got to make better decisions. But if you're asking, are the majority of them passing or catching or losing the ball or shot clock violations or illegal screens, or we've had a blend. There's not necessarily, we've got to clean up, some of those areas. I do think we're better than we were earlier in the year, but we still have to improve in that area. We've got to decrease that number per game.
I guess as a follow-up, with a veteran team like you have you been surprised at all that maybe some of those decisions and decision-making hasn't been at the level you wanted?
Yeah, a little bit, just because we're accustomed to being really elite level when it comes to taking care of it. And I do think we're getting better, and guys are learning their role. Part of it is staying, playing your role really, really well, and being aggressive and attacking, but doing it with purpose, and staying, within your role. And I think guys have started, as I said earlier with the rotation question, they've started to understand a little bit more about, what we want and how that fits in. And I do, anticipate that number continuing to go down. I do think it's gotten better, certainly since early in the season, but I still think we have another, an even higher ceiling with it yet.
Is that all for Coach? Okay, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.